Hey there, how you doing?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good. You're actually my first female guest, so I guess that's
Oh,
something cool.
cool.
You have a fight coming up against Randy Morales on January 11th. How's training coming along?
It's going pretty good. Just been super busy because my husband and myself are actually in fight camp, so we've been really busy between both of us and juggling the baby around.
Yeah, how is that being both at training camp at the same time? Like,
Uh,
how is it? Is it stressful and all that stuff?
I don't think it's really stressful. I just think it's more busy, I guess is the best way you could put it. We're just under not so much pressure, but just always on the go. So I'll go to a training session in the morning and then come back and switch off with Ray, and he'll take off to training, and then I'll take over with the baby, and it's kind of like a back and forth thing for most days.
Yep. Oh, that's pretty cool though. That y'all guys can work your schedules together like that, especially during a training camp.
Yeah.
How do you foresee your fight with Randy going?
I honestly think it's just gonna be a matter of who can put their tools together better. I know she's predominantly a striker, and I'm a brawler myself, but I'm kind of hoping to go in there and just be able to showcase a few of my other skills besides just going in there and brawling with people.
Yep,
So
that's
I think
good.
it's gonna be pretty back and forth.
Oh, there we go. Those are the best kind of fights. Um, you had a hard fight in Randy Field last time, and I saw after the fight you're kind of emotional. What was going through your mind, and what were you saying to Ray and everything like that?
Uh, I really just felt like I don't think there's a better way to put it, but I felt like I gave out on myself during that fight. And so I think at the end of it and after watching it, I wasn't doing bad with her at all, and I felt like I was doing better on the feet than what she was, and I felt like if I could have just put myself together and not been so emotional, that I could have probably won that fight. But Randy Field's a tough girl, and she's really talented, and I think she's going to actually do really well in the sport. But
Yeah. Do you ever feel like pressure to succeed and stuff due to Ray's success in the UFC and everything like that?
I think for a while I kind of was caving into that pressure a little bit, but after my last boxing match in November, I think I kind of have a better hold of where I'm at supposed to be mentally, and for the longest time I had to consider that Ray's been doing this since he was a kid, and I only started in my early 20s, so he's at where he's supposed to be at, and I'm just climbing the ladder like I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like he's helped you grow as a martial artist a lot?
Oh, most definitely. He's ultimately probably my biggest supporter and my biggest fan through it all. As weird as that sounds, he
That's what he's
probably
supposed to
knows.
be.
He always tells me that you don't realize how good you are, as like I guess pretty much seeing it through his eyes.
Yeah. Is he your head coach too, or do you have a separate head coach?
Ray's, I guess you could call him my head coach. We actually train out of Jackson's MMA, not Jackson Wink, but Jackson's, and the
Mm.
head coach over there is Nick Urso. So Nick Urso's probably my head coach, and then Ray's probably right up there with him. They're probably both of my head coaches. Ray does a lot of my wrestling and stuff, so he does a lot of game planning and implementing on my game.
Oh, that's cool. What got you into training MMA?
I actually was like a really troubled teenager, I guess you can say, and I was floating around between my mom and my dad, and I eventually got sent to my grandma's, and my grandma was actually in karate and training at a dojo, and I had bugged everybody since I was 14 or 15 to put me in boxing, and nobody put me in boxing, and she finally took me over there, and I went to go spar with the coach's daughter, and this tiny little girl beat me up, and I just kept going back.
Yeah, yeah. Got to keep going. That's what's gonna make you a champion one day. What's like a normal life a day in the life of a mom who's also a fighter?
It's pretty, I don't know. Anthony makes it super awesome because I just get up in the morning, and sometimes I squeeze in a training session before he's even awake. But we get to wake up and have breakfast and hang out. And then I think the most rewarding thing is actually just coming home to him, because he gets like overexcited that you're back home.
Yeah.
If he was a little bit more, if he was a little bit older, he would probably be at the gym with us all the time. But right now, he's just at a stage where he has to be into everything. And if he can't be into everything, then he wants to be right next to you on the mats.
I bet that's kind of cool, but I can see where it gets in the way and everything too during training.
Yeah, and he's a lot of fun though. He makes life very interesting.
Yeah, I bet. Speaking of Anthony, he had a condition called what is it? How do you
Hydrocephalus?
Yeah.
Water on the brain.
Um,
Is the best way to describe it.
okay. What all happened with that? Like, did he have to have surgery or anything like that?
Yeah, so we actually found out after 3 weeks after Anthony was born that he had hydrocephalus. The Loveless Hospital had called me and said that he had a brain bleed and he would have to do surgery immediately. And we got transferred to Children's Colorado in Denver or Aurora, Colorado. And he had 2 surgeries when the first week we were out there. And it was just to get a shunt placed so his spinal fluid could run through. Because what happened when he was born is he was actually born with a blockage in his canal where all of ours just flows through naturally. He has a block, so he had to have a shunt placed, and it kind of just flows throughout his body now.
Yeah. How's he doing now currently?
He's doing really good. We just hit our 1-year surgery-free mark, so that's with this condition. You want to hit milestones. So after 3 months, you're like less likely to have surgery. After 6 months, it's a lot less likely that you're not going to need surgery. But after a year, it's like a lot less likely that you will really need surgery. So he just hit that year mark, and we're just kind of relieved and happy that he hasn't had to see a hospital room for a year.
Yeah, that's a blessing right there. That's God. Sorry, hold on, knocked my headphones out. That was just God's blessing right there, you know. How tough was that during fight camps and everything like that?
All of that was kind of really hard. I wasn't really fighting at the time, and I was just kind of trying to get my foot back in the door and get back into a gym and training and getting back into fight shape, I guess you can say. But we would kind of get consistently in the gym for a few weeks, and then something would happen where we would have to get out. But I think now that he's been through everything, we kind of just find a way around it and a way to make it work, because ultimately this is how we put food on the table.
Yeah. How much has Anthony's recovery motivated you to become a better fighter and anything else, or just any kind of motivation at all?
It's probably a lot of motivation, because it's just you see Anthony, and Anthony's the happiest kid after everything he's been through, but he has like little battles with his condition every day, and every day he wakes up with no choice but to fight. So I feel like I started this for myself, and ultimately I have to finish it because Anthony hasn't finished his fight, so I need to finish this out with him.
Oh, that's super good. Do you feel like any of your kids that will start training one day?
I don't know. We're really hoping that Anthony probably wouldn't be a fighter like us, but he's kind of already surpassed that after everything he's been through. But he actually takes a lot of I guess curiosity in it. He sees me hit mitts and stuff, and when we're here at home, he'll come up to me and hold mitts for me and try and wrestle with us. It's pretty fun. So hopefully he'll be able to wrestle or do some type of jiu-jitsu or something.
Oh, that's cool. Well, that's actually all I have for you today. But yeah, we can maybe get on after your fight or after the 11th.
That would be perfect. Thank you so much for taking time and having me on today.
No problem. Thank you for coming on, man. It's an honor.
Thank you.
But,
have a good day.
All right, you too.
Bye.